Take the narrow path, a study on Matthew 7 verses 13 to 14. Matthew 7 verses 13 to 14 presents us with a crucial teaching from Jesus about the two paths that lie before us. In these verses, Jesus encourages us to enter through the narrow gate that leads to life and warns us about the wide gate that leads to destruction. He emphasizes that the path to eternal life and true fulfillment is not the popular or easy one, but rather a narrow and often challenging road. The wide gate represents the broad path that the majority of people choose to follow. It is a path that caters to our natural inclinations and desires, promising immediate gratification and worldly success. However, Jesus warns us that this path ultimately leads to destruction and separation from God. In contrast, the narrow gate represents the path of discipleship and surrender to Jesus. It requires us to deny ourselves, take up our cross, and follow Him wholeheartedly. This path may seem difficult and unpopular, but it leads to eternal life, intimate fellowship with God, and the abundant blessings of His kingdom. As followers of Christ, we are called to make a conscious choice to enter through the narrow gate and walk in the ways of righteousness, even if it means going against the tide of popular opinion. It requires us to align our lives with the teachings of Jesus and submit ourselves to His lordship. Though the narrow path may involve sacrifices and challenges, it is the path that leads to true fulfillment, peace, and eternal significance. It is a path where we experience the transforming power of God's love and grace, and where we discover the joy of living in alignment with His purposes. Let us, therefore, heed Jesus' words and enter through the narrow gate. May we have the courage and resolve to walk in obedience to His teachings, trusting in His guidance and leaning on His strength. As we do so, we will find that the narrow path, though challenging, leads to a life of deep intimacy with God and an eternal inheritance that far outweighs any temporary pleasures the wide gate may offer.